Hello, everybody, and welcome to Funny Stories with Old School Kurt. I'm Old School Kurt, and I tell funny stories that have happened in my life that are very entertaining, and people seem to like them. So, my first story I'm going to tell you is how there used to be this stupid TAAS test back in Texas we had to take in the 80s and 90s. It's called something now, but back then in our time, it was the TAAS test, and it was the dumbest thing. I don't know what it stood for, something like Texas Academic something. To me, it stood for truly ass shit. It was the dumbest test ever. There was a reading part, a math part, and an English part. English part, easy. Reading part was easy, but they asked the dumbest questions in the world. Like, you would read this whole paragraph how Sarah and Tim are friends and they're into carpentry or some bullshit. And then the first test is, which one's taller? Where the hell is that in the story, and why do I care about someone's height? How's that going to help me later? Anyway, sorry, digress. I used to fail the math part all the damn time. Bad at math, suck at it. Especially the TAAS test math, it was stuff like pi r, these nuts, and circumference my ass. I don't care. I don't give a shit about the radius or nothing like that. Well, anyway, I studied my butt off to try to pass it because you take it your sophomore year, which is 10th grade, and I failed it. So you can't graduate high school in Texas without passing this dumbass test. So anyway, I studied my junior year, 1998, back when I was 17, to try to pass this test. And there was a good omen that happened the morning that I had to take that test, because there was a bully that used to pick on me horribly. And we'll refer to him as M. And here's how it all happened. Here's where something happened that was horrible for M, but positive for me, and brought a tear to my eye. And I finally passed the test. Here's the story. It was early morning, and everybody that had to take the TAAS test, it was all the sophomores, and my loser ass, who was a junior who didn't pass it, had to go and sit with the sophomores in the morning because they gave us breakfast before the test. So luckily I had a lot of friends that were sophomores, so no big deal. So I'm sitting at a breakfast table with my friends Caesar and M. And we're all just sitting there, we're eating, we're cracking up, we're laughing, we're making jokes, and then bam, I get hit in the face with a piece of ham. And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. And I turn around, and my other friend Nelson was sitting at another table across the way. Like, here's our table, the table's over there. And I laughed, and I just picked up the ham and kind of threw it back. Ha ha, we're all laughing. No big deal. Nobody gets offended. We're all having fun. So I look down, and me and Caesar are both laughing as we're eating, and M's laughing too. And then, bam, M gets hit with a piece of ham, and he laughs. And he picks up the ham, and all I see is him throw it. And, I laugh. I don't think nothing of it. And I'm talking to Caesar. And then all of a sudden, boom, Coca-Cola goes everywhere. Everywhere there's Coca-Cola. I'm covered in Coca-Cola. Caesar's covered in Coca-Cola. And we're trying to figure out what happened. Like, why is there soda all over us? Then we see this Coke can on the ground, and it is dented in the front. I mean, just dented. And Caesar yells, oh my God, somebody hit M in the freaking head with a Coca-Cola with the Coca-Cola can. And in the forehead. And I look up and I look at M, and his head has the indentation of a Coca-Cola can. It looks like you can just open up his head and see his brain, what little of it there was. And he's bleeding everywhere, right? And so me and Caesar back up, and we're like, what the hell happened? And next to M is this kid named Raul. And Raul's standing over him like, and we're all confused trying to figure out what the hell's happening. So M, poor guy, is bleeding from his head. Everybody's watching us now. M's bleeding from his head, and his hands are all shaking, and he takes off his glasses he's wearing, and he puts them down, and he stands up and goes, you want to go? You want to go? And then everything gets broken up. I am laughing as M and this kid Raul go to the office. I am laughing to the point of tears. I'm crying. I'm laughing. I'm thanking God that happened, because that kid M used to bully the shit out of me. And karma finally happened. And I remember looking up with a tear in my eye and saying, I'm going to go ahead and pass this math test. And I did. I made a 71 on that math test. But you know what the bitch of it is? M was in the same class as me, taking the TAAS test with the ice pack over his freaking mutated Coca-Cola head, holding the ice pack, right? And I took the math test and passed it with the 71. This asshole with the Coke can head bleeding with the ice pack made an 88. Ain't that a bitch? I'll see you next time.